Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jeff White, Jeff White Fitness Solutions. Thanks for checking out this video today. And today, I want to talk about this quote from Abraham Lincoln. And it says, America will never be destroyed from the outside. If we falter and lose our freedoms, it will be because we destroyed ourselves. Now, I've seen this quote over the years, and I've always thought it was true. But as I look at what's going on today, this is more real than ever. Now, for some of you who don't know, I used to be a financial advisor many years ago. And I distinctly remember when I was a rookie broker during our morning meetings, one of the presidents of the company, because it was a small brokerage firm, he would always come out and say, you don't pick stocks for what's going on today. You look at the trends and you pick stocks based on what you think the future will be 6 months, 12 months, 18 months from now. So you're always looking ahead. And that always stuck with me. And I'm looking ahead. I'm looking at the current events and I'm looking at where I think the U.S. will be in the next 12 to 18 months and a little further out. And this is not good. The U.S. is in a world of trouble, serious trouble. I'm talking devastating, life-changing trouble. And I'm going to explain right now. So please leave me a comment. Let me know what you guys think. And please like and subscribe to the channel because I like to talk about things from a slightly different perspective. All right, guys, so check this out and let me know what you think. Okay, so the first problem we're going to start with today is America is becoming more and more isolated. See, the U.S. has the world reserve currency, and unfortunately, it has used it to hurt other countries or to keep them down in a form of sanctions. So basically, if those countries do something America doesn't like, they sanction them. Now, the problem with that is when you do that too much, these other countries, they start to fight back. And an example of that right now is what's going on with the war between Russia and Ukraine. So the U.S. sanctioned Russia where they took them out of the banking system, but Russia said, fine, we'll create our own. Now, time will tell how this all plays out, but other countries have taken note. And what they're doing, namely China, is they are withdrawing some of their monies out of the SWIFT system. And the way they're doing that is they are liquidating their U.S. holdings, their holdings of U.S. Treasury bonds, which is in the trillions of dollars. So to prevent them getting their bank accounts frozen, they are liquidating their assets and they're putting their money in other places where they can't be touched by the U.S. So as the U.S. continues to sanction these other countries, they are looking at more creative ways to shield their money and their assets from America. So this is just one way the U.S. is hurting itself. It is burning bridges in many countries around the world. Okay, guys, this is a major problem that is not being discussed as much as it should. And the U.S. basically has too many imports, not enough exports. We buy from other countries more than we send to other countries. And you can see on the screenshot here, it says trade deficit rises 5.4% to $78.2 billion in October. That's just the month of October. And as you can see from that bottom chart, these are the trade deficits over the last several months or so. So as you can see, we are running a trade deficit, which only hurts us in the long run because if the U.S. continues to sanction other countries, and mind you, the U.S. has sanctioned Russia, which was a country that it did business with, and is threatening to sanction China, which it also does business with. Other countries out there can look at this and say, well, hey, if they were cool with Russia and China and they sanctioned them, what does that say about us? Do we need to be careful with America because they could be an unpredictable trading partner? So this could only increase the isolation of the United States, which only hurts the American people and the American economy long term. So, what exactly are we importing from other countries? We're importing a lot of key products. And one big one that really doesn't get discussed as much as it should is the fact that the US imports a lot of medications, or at least the ingredients for those medications are coming from other countries, namely India and somewhat China. And then in addition, we all have gone to Walmart. We all have looked in our closet, looked at all of our electronics, and you can see many of these products are made overseas. 9 times out of 10, they're made in China or in the Middle East. So if something were to happen, our products would cease because they come from so many other countries. And the scary one is the medications, because we have a lot of people in America who are on all different types of antidepressants, high blood pressure pills, insulin, um, you name it, we're on it. Sad to say. We are heavily medicated in America, and those medications are coming from other countries. And if something were to happen and they get mad at us, and they want to stop sending us these medications, God help us all. But this is another problem that we must deal with. So this is when people will say, well, we can just build our own. We can just become self-sufficient and start creating our own products and do all these things. But that's going to be a major problem too. And I'm going to explain why. Problem number 4, which is a huge problem and will be even bigger as time goes on. Because as I said in the previous slide, a lot of people will say, well, the US, we can just build our own. We can get those factories back here and we can just hire our own people. We can make our own stuff. Slow down. Not so fast. Let's look at this from a realistic perspective. First off, look at how much those Chinese workers are being paid. Now, it could fluctuate a bit, I don't know, but 9 times out of 10, they're making a whole hell of a lot less money than American workers make if they make the exact same product. And you know it's true because you see all the stories around the US about how so many people want higher wages, how fast food workers want more wages, how everyone is on strike because they want more wages. But here's the thing though, I don't blame people wanting more wages. Everything is going up. Rent's going up, car insurance is going up, your electric bill's going up. So damn right people want more money. But that's the problem though. Are these companies really going to come back to the United States where they're paying literally pennies on the dollar to get products made and come back to the United States and deal with all the drama that we have here? I don't see that happening. And on top of that, what if these companies do come back here? How much do you think those products will cost? Think about it. How much will those products cost if you got to pay your workers the same amount? Well, not the same amount, but if you have to pay them what they're making now in America, those products are going to be sky high. Then, if you try to export those products to other countries, they're going to be so high compared to the other countries' products, similar products, they're not going to sell. It's going to get blown out the water. People are already complaining about paying $20 for a burger and fries. It's not going to work on a competitive scale. So this one alone is a huge problem because people are not going to work for $1 an hour. They're not going to work for $2 an hour. They barely want to work for $20 an hour. So to say these companies are going to come back and we're going to rebuild the manufacturing, I do not see that happening at all. And if you think the trade deficit is bad now, just wait until we try to get these companies back. And then on top of that, it can take years for these companies to come back. It can take years to get the people trained to run an efficient company. But again, are they really going to pay that? No. The reason they went over to China in the first place is because of the cheap wages. This one is a major problem that I don't think the US can overcome. I just don't see how it happens. Okay, guys, problem number 5. Will America get left behind? And I say that because these BRICS nations are not playing. I believe that this was already in motion, but the war with Russia and Ukraine and how the U.S. put those sanctions on Russia just sped this up. Now, this is another major problem because the BRICS nations, which include Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, they're creating a new currency, and that currency will be backed by some type of hard asset, such as gold, such as oil, or some other commodity. Meanwhile, the US dollar, which is the world reserve currency, is backed by trust and believe, which basically means trust and believe we say it's valuable and has worth. Well, a lot of countries are not going for that anymore. They want a hard asset. In addition, as I said before, the U.S. is sanction happy, and these countries are tired of it, and they're finding ways to get around these sanctions. Now, if you look at that chart here, the picture I have here, these are a lot of countries that want to join the BRICS nations. A lot of these countries, they have resources that the U.S. imports. The U.S. imports a lot of resources. And I told you guys in the previous slide how the trade deficit is in a negative for the United States. We import more than we export. I also told you that the U.S. dollar is a trust and believe currency, which is not backed by anything, but trust and believe is worth something. If these countries decide to bypass the dollar, how are we going to buy this stuff? How is grandma going to get her antidepressants? I mean, seriously, this is not a game. We are in a serious situation where the world can leave the U.S. in the dust, and people are not thinking about it. We need these other countries more than people want to admit. And if this were to continue, the U.S. will be left behind. And I encourage you to do your own research and look at what I put out here. But the U.S. is in serious trouble if this trend is to continue. But I don't see how it's not going to continue because the U.S. has burned a lot of bridges. We are picking fights with Saudi Arabia. We're picking fights with Russia. We're picking fights with China. This is not a good thing. And then you have people in America, again, I don't blame them, who want more money. We already have a $30 trillion deficit. I didn't even go over that. We have food shortages. I didn't go over that. We have record inflation. We are in serious trouble, people, and it's not being discussed, but you need to pay close attention to this and start preparing now because once America is left behind, we are really going to be in a world of hurt. Okay, guys, so I believe old Honest Abe was right. We are destroying ourselves, and this is why America is on its way out. Now, we can play the blame game and point fingers, but I'm past that. I don't have time for that. That is too much energy. By the time you get that finger pointed, it's going to be chopped off. So it's time to focus on what we need to do to protect ourselves. And my biggest thing, and I've been preaching this for a while, just become more self-sufficient. Become more self-sufficient. And that includes starting planting your own garden, stocking up on food, water, medicine, security, stock up on all this stuff because one day that dollar that you have in your pocket, that you have in your bank account, may not be able to buy anything. There may come a day when those BRICS nations decide they will not accept the US dollar to for their products anymore because they don't want that worthless piece of paper. So you can go to the store, there's nothing in the store because we have nothing to import. And we can't make the product because we don't have the workers to do it. So what are you going to do? Who are you going to blame then? We won't have time for that. You need to start stocking up now. Next, do not rely on a CBDC to save you, that central bank digital currency. All that thing is going to do is track everything you buy if we have anything to buy. Oh, we might have bugs and crickets. But other than that, if this import export deficit continues, if these countries do not accept the American dollar, there won't be nothing for that CBDC to buy for you anyway. Next, get you some physical gold and silver because that's real money. They're talking about backing the new monetary system with some form of asset. Many people believe it's going to be gold. I just heard today that Putin may back his oil with gold. So gold is the real deal. And unfortunately, the American educational system failed us because they didn't teach us about real money. All they taught us about was stocks and bonds and mutual funds. And that's a joke and a scam. And me speaking as a former financial advisor, I will tell you straight up, we weren't allowed to talk about gold and silver because we couldn't make any money on it. Our job was about getting assets under management and making a commission. How am I going to make a commission if I tell you to go buy an ounce of gold and hide it under your pillow like it's the tooth fairy? I'm not. So I'm going to tell you to invest in this mutual fund so I can get my trailing commission. I'm just keeping it real, yo. I'm just keeping it real with you because I'm really fed up with this crap that we're dealing with, and people need to wake up to what's going on. So, next, use your currency wisely. Buy these things that you need now while it still has value. Yes, inflation is going up, but guess what? There's a good chance inflation could continue because they're steadily printing money. The more money they print, the less purchasing power we have for that dollar. So buy what you need now because it may either be more expensive in the future or it may not even be on the shelves in the future. And last but certainly not least, work on creating multiple streams of income and passive income. If you can create your own money, you can dictate the price. And guess what? You can also dictate what type of currency you want to be paid in. These are all very important, people. So let's talk about this. What do you guys think? Do you see what I see? Because a lot of people are focused on the day-to-day stories, which are all important, but I'm looking at the big picture. I'm looking out 6 months, 12 months, 2 years out, and what I see is not pretty. Do not get distracted by the little news stories out about the latest celebrity screw up or whatever. Focus on the big picture and keep stocking up, keep prepping, keep a low profile. All this is going to be very important. And most important, watch what's going on, the big picture, because that is what you need to focus on. And that's what's going to help you decide the best steps to take going forward. All right, guys, let's get to work because time is running out.